97 it is. We are talking law with Despina Priala. If you have a legal question and you'd like it answered on the radio, Despina happy to do that for you, and you can get it to us a number of ways. I guess the best way to get those addresses is just by going to the website radio97.com.au. You can send us an email, Facebook, etc., etc. But all of that info is right there in one place, radio97.com.au.
Thank you, Aino. And Despina, we have some happy news now. Good news after that heavy meal. A bit of dessert. The Homebuilder grant has been extended to the 30th of June, 2025 for our Queensland friends. So do you feel like this news kind of went under the radar? Haven't heard anything about it, and then all of a sudden it's just popped up?
Yes, I think it has. And I certainly didn't see any particular articles about it or alerts. So I'm wanting to mention it today because there might be many people out there that did apply for the Homebuilder grant and then realised this year, well, I've signed an off-the-plan contract. The construction hasn't completed. I'm going to miss out on that Homebuilder grant. And that was really important for them in terms of their budget. And the original, well, the Homebuilder grant was previously extended, but the last date was the 30th of April this year, that you had to actually submit all the relevant documents for your application to be successful. And part of those documents you had to actually submit was evidence that you actually owned the property. And if you've signed it off the plan, the project's been delayed and kicked out beyond 30 April 23 this year, how can you possibly provide that evidence you needed to say, I own it? And you can't. So then those people originally were thinking, oh, well, my project's now extended by 6, 12 months, 2 years. I'll never get the grant. Well, no, not necessarily. So we do have some good news. So we want to recap again about this Homebuilder grant in Queensland. So this was brought out, if you remember, the Queensland government in their infinite wisdom brought out the Homebuilder grant in 2020. It was to really accelerate, if you remember, the construction industry, which it did. It was like an accelerant. And, you know, all these builders were out there and, you know, offering to build. And I think in some respects actually probably took on a bit too much work because of the grant, which we've seen in subsequent years. But in any event, and I think in some respects too, the Homebuilder grant was probably a little bit mismanaged by the Queensland government, if I could say that, because we had all these unreasonable dates and this, you know, the market upswing and construction industry upswing and everyone's going crazy. And nobody really thought about, well, do these dates work? So the Homebuilder grant was offered for major renovations, or you're buying a brand new home. And you originally had 25,000 that was available if you signed a contract from the 4th of June 2020 to the 31st of December 2020. Then they changed it and reduced it to 15,000. So that was for contracts signed 1st of Jan 21 to 31st of March 21. So that was your eligibility back then. So if you'd signed a contract after that, you really weren't in that market. But there are a lot of people, and I have a lot of clients that signed an off-the-plan contract prior to 31st of March 2021. And they did that knowing that they would get this Homebuilder grant of 15,000 in that particular case. And then those projects were kicked out and they still aren't completed as of today, for example. And those clients said, well, we're going to miss out because of what's happened. And it was disappointing. However, so there has been an announcement recently that the Homebuilder grant has been extended to 30 June 2025. So that's great news. So what does that mean? So it means that you can't now lodge a new application. So if you sign an off-the-plan contract today, right, you're not going to be eligible. This was for applications that had already been lodged prior to the 14th of April 21, but they just couldn't complete all the necessary documentation because it's an off the plan and they didn't own it, for example, and they were waiting for the project to be completed. So now what they've done is they've said, you know what, we're going to give people till 30 June 2025 to submit all that relevant paperwork, right, to get your grant, which includes evidence you own it. So now if you're sitting in a project, it's delayed, you did meet that initial criteria, as I mentioned, and it's been delayed, but you think it's going to be completed by 30 June 25, then you should, by rights, be eligible to get your grant.
Okay, so it's
So
another
good.
2 years extension there. Do you think lots of people don't know about this? Because as Brooke mentioned earlier on, it seems to have almost been under the radar.
It's a bit under the radar. I think a lot of people aren't aware of it. We're certainly letting our clients know that this is in play, and very much if they've lodged their application, which we told them to do at the time, we told everybody to make sure you get it in by that due date, and it's in the system. So if it's in the system, it means you're in the system. And if you are, I mean, I went on this morning to the website. So apparently, if you have lodged it, you have your own login details. So you can log into Homebuilder under the Queensland Government grants, and you should be able to see the status of your application. So it should, by right, say, oh, extension date to 30 June 25. But if it doesn't, you can Google this information yourself. It's definitely been extended. So if you fit into the criteria initially, you will be able to still get the grant if your project is completed before then, and if you lodge all your relevant information by 30 June 25. Now, as to whether we'll see another extension because of further delays in construction, in Queensland, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. And just quickly, what is the max amount that you can receive through this grant and the minimum?
So we talked about that before. So it depends on when you signed your contract. If you signed it before 31st December 2020, it was 25,000. So if you signed it between 1st of Jan and 31st of March 2021, it's 15,000. And this is for homes that are valued no more than 750,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of criteria there to look up, but overall, some really good news.
Exactly. Really good news for people in Queensland.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time again, Despina, this morning. If anyone does want to get in touch with you directly, where can they go?
So I can phone the office 55291294, email us at info@prialalegal.com.au. And then if you've missed all of the segments today, then we'll be posting that up on our YouTube channel by the weekend.
That's it. Just search Priala Legal, Priala. Thank you so much, Despina and Wayne.
And we'll do it all again, same time, same radio station next week.
See you then, guys.
Are you confused about legal jargon? Do you need legal advice but don't know where to turn? Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97. Despina, a leading lawyer with over 20 years of experience, will demystify the law and provide practical advice to help you navigate legal issues. Whether it's a family matter, a property dispute, or a business concern, Talking Law has got you covered. Don't miss out on this valuable resource. Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97.